Welcome everyone to today's explainer. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever looked out a window and felt like you were staring through a literal bowl of milk? Glass is this thing we constantly rely on to look through, but we hardly ever take a second to actually look at it. Well, at least until something goes horribly wrong. Today, we're tracing the pretty fascinating life cycle of glass maintenance. We'll be breaking down those subtle, kinda sneaky warning signs of material degradation, all the way through to the critical professional interventions that actually restore our connection to the outside world. It's a journey from cloudy obscurity right back to crystal clarity. Let's get into it.
So it all really kicks off with a simple, pretty frustrating question. What happens when your view of the world gets permanently cloudy? It's an everyday reality for countless property managers and homeowners out there. You might initially think, oh, it's just morning dew, or maybe figure you just need a better squeegee and some glass cleaner. But when you wipe down both the inside and the outside and that thick, stubborn haze is still just staring right back at you, yeah, you're dealing with something much more serious. You're actually losing that fundamental architectural promise of a clear, unobstructed view. Let's take a look at exactly what this looks like in the wild so you know what to watch out for.
All right, take a really close look at this visual diagnosis. Notice those heavy, milky streaks running vertically straight down the pane. You can barely even make out the vibrant green trees or the parking lot in the background. Honestly, it looks like a permanent rainstorm got trapped right inside the window itself. And frankly, that's exactly what is happening here. This isn't just exterior dirt. It's trapped moisture that has physically etched itself into the interior surfaces of the glass. When your visual diagnosis looks like this, I'm sorry to say, but no amount of elbow grease or heavy-duty cleaning is going to fix it. It's a fundamental breakdown of the unit itself.
So, the crucial point is understanding the actual mechanics behind that foggy mess. Modern windows, they aren't just single panes of glass anymore, right? They're insulated glass units made of 2 or 3 panes separated by a specialized pocket of air or sometimes an inert gas. And this fundamental breakdown actually has a formal name: window seal failure. It's literally the degradation of that vital, airtight perimeter seal. Over time, whether it's from wild temperature fluctuations, harsh UV exposure, or just basic aging of the materials, that seal just gives out, it breaks. Moisture from the outside air gets sucked right into that vacuum space, condensing and permanently fogging the unit from the inside out. Once that seal is gone, your insulating value tanks, and, well, your crystal clear view is completely history. Let's move to and see how this builds from a mere visual nuisance into a major physical liability. Look at the vast difference here between aesthetic failure, which is your classic slow-burning seal failure, and structural failure. Now, aesthetic failure means trapped moisture, ruined views, and a really slow, ugly degradation over years. It's annoying, sure, but it usually doesn't put anyone in immediate danger. But when we talk about structural failure, wow. Glass goes from being an aesthetic barrier to a literal physical hazard. We're talking shattered panels and severely compromised safety. The timeline shifts instantly from a slow burn to an absolute immediate crisis that requires an urgent professional response. Actually, I want you to put on your building inspector hat for just a second as we examine this structural failure in an architectural canopy. Look right up there at the metal framing, right where the glass meets the support beam. You can clearly see the shattered crystalline edge of the safety glass just resting precariously along that metal track. Unlike the slow, creeping fog of a broken window seal, this is a sudden, catastrophic failure of the material itself. Thankfully, because this was properly specified safety glass, it crumbled into these relatively harmless pebble-like pieces rather than dropping massive, deadly shards. Still, a structurally compromised overhead canopy like this, that is a massive and immediate safety hazard that absolutely demands an expert response. Which brings us to the pivotal turning point in our explainer. Whether you're dealing with the slow aesthetic decay of a foggy living room window or the sudden structural collapse of a commercial glass canopy, you need a professional intervention. Enter Acme Glass and Maintenance. When a property reaches that tipping point of material failure, these are the dedicated experts who step in to restore order. We're shifting gears now from simply identifying the damage to actively executing the repairs. It's all about bringing in the right specialized knowledge, the right tools, and the right experience to safely and effectively replace exactly what's broken. Let's walk through exactly how a professional glazier tackles these complex issues. The process follows a really clear, logical progression. Step 1, assess the damage. This isn't just eyeballing it. It involves careful, exact measurements, determining the correct glass thickness, identifying any specialized tints, and making absolutely sure the surrounding frame is still structurally sound. Step 2, source exact replacements. You definitely can't just grab a piece of insulated glass off a big box store shelf. Nope.
These units are custom fabricated to match the precise specifications of the failed unit. And finally, step 3, execute the installation. This is the careful, highly skilled physical labor of safely removing the dangerous or failed glass and securing that brand new unit flawlessly into place. And honestly, there is something incredibly satisfying about seeing step 2 come to fruition. Look at this physical solution sitting right here on the floor. After dealing with shattered overhead canopies and permanently clouded, ugly views, seeing this unboxed, fresh inventory is like a total breath of fresh air. It really taps into that psychology of a clean slate, you know? These brand new window units are resting here in absolutely pristine condition, patiently waiting for deployment. They represent the immediate, tangible fix to the exact problems we just diagnosed, promising a rapid return to both visual clarity and structural safety. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible level of detail in these specific replacements. You can see the protective plastic wrap is still perfectly intact around the edges, guarding that pristine white framing underneath from any scuff string transport. Notice those elegant built-in window grids, cleanly dividing the panes for that classic architectural look. And right there on the lower glass pane, proudly displayed, is a bright blue label for Rogers out of Lexington, Kentucky, established in 1969. These highly specific visual cues, the manufacturing labels, the protective wrap, the flawless factory finish, they all highlight the intense precision and quality control that goes into fabricating modern replacement windows before they ever even see the outside world. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate payoff of this entire maintenance life cycle. Just look at this incredible side-by-side contrast. Compare that totally ruined, foggy window we started with, a severely degraded barrier that completely isolates you from the vibrancy of the outside, to the climax of our professional intervention, a sliding glass door so crystal clear that it perfectly reflects the installer taking the photo, along with the cars parked out in the lot. It's a flawless mirror finish that proves without a doubt the airtight seal is completely intact and the structural integrity is fully restored. The transformation from a milky blur to a perfect reflection is literally night and day. Which brings us to a crucial final thought for you to carry forward. Look at the glass in your own everyday life. We rely on it constantly to keep the harsh elements out while letting all that beautiful light in. But as we've clearly seen today, these systems are not invincible. So I have to ask you, is it time to take a closer look at what's standing between you and the outside world? Don't wait for a shattered structural failure or a completely opaque, foggy view to force your hand. Check your window seals, look really closely for that hidden condensation, and take pride in maintaining your clear view of the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay curious out there.